Good morning. Welcome to the Mid-Fraser Cluster Good Friday worship service. So we're gathering a few different United churches from Abbotsford to Mission. And during worship today, when you leave, you put your nail in an empty bowl at the back so that it makes that resounding clang, just as we will do during worship. And there is no offering, so don't stress that. And you leave in silence at the end of worship. And there will be the service on PowerPoint as well as in your bulletin. There are various people with parts, and they will come to this pulpit microphone when it is their turn. At this point, we now proceed to our land acknowledgement and our candle of diversity.
O Creator, we gather now to engage in worship on the unceded land of the Stalo people, specifically the Matsqui. We honor and own our opportunity and responsibility to work on reconciliation and relationships, to work on these with Indigenous people, and know that it takes more than rote words and a candle, but also deed and action. May we remember these tasks as we light this orange candle. Many people suffer injustice and access to places because of who they love, how they look, or who they are. Sexual orientation, gender identity, color of our skin, physical and cognitive abilities and limitations are integral parts of our person and should never lead to abuse, exclusion, or oppression. By lighting this rainbow candle, we vow to create a safe space for everyone and to advocate for their equal rights.
Good Friday is a difficult part of our faith.
It is a day of shadows and death.
A day when it seems like the sun will never shine bright enough or warm enough again.
It is a day of pain and sorrow.
A day when hope dies, when the world seems withered and barren.
It is a hard story to tell.
But we will tell it. We will hear it and feel it and share it.
For it is our story, our hope, and our salvation. We invite you to stand as you are able and to join in singing the first two verses of When I Survey the Wondrous Cross.
More content Reading from the Gospel according to John, chapter 18, verses 1 to 11. Jesus arrested. When he finished praying, Jesus left with his disciples and crossed the Kidron Valley. And on the other side there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. Now Judas, who betrayed him, knew the place because Jesus had often met there with his disciples. So Judas came to the garden, guiding a detachment of soldiers and some officials from the chief priests and the Pharisees. They were carrying torches, lanterns, and weapons. Jesus, knowing all that was going to happen to him, went out and asked them, "Who is it you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they replied. "I am he," Jesus said. And Judas the traitor was standing there with them. When Jesus said, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Again he asked them, "Who is it you want?" "Jesus of Nazareth," they said. Jesus answered, "I told you that I am he. If you're looking for me, then let these men go." This happened so that the words he had spoken would be fulfilled. "I have not lost one of those you gave me." Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the high priest's servant, cutting off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. Jesus commanded Peter, "Put your sword away. Shall I not drink the cup the Father has given me?" Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church.
The scripture reading of Jesus before Pilate, John 18, 28 to 38. Then the Jewish leaders took Jesus from Caiaphas to his palace in the Roman governor. By now it was early morning, and to avoid ceremonial uncleanliness, they did not enter the palace because they wanted to be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and asked, "What charges are you bringing against this man? If he is not a criminal," they replied, "we would not have him handed over to you." Pilate said, "Take him yourselves and judge him for your very own law."
Pilate then went back inside the palace, summoned Jesus, and asked him, "Are you king of the Jews?" "Is that your own idea?" Jesus asked, "or did others talk to you about me?" "Am I a Jew?" Pilate replied. "Your own people and chief priests handed you over to me. What is it that you have done?" Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by the Jewish leaders. But now my kingdom is from another place." "You're a king then," said Pilate. Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth. Everyone on the side of the truth listens to me." "What is the truth?" retorted Pilate. With this, he went out again, and the Jews gathered there and said, "I have no basis for a charge against him." Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church.
Thanks be to God.
Five nails. 5 nails were used to crucify Jesus. How well we know the story. And yet each year we must live it again. Each year we must tell the story of the crucifixion as if it happened today. This very day, perhaps even in this very room. Love is betrayed, justice is mocked, and any hope of salvation is crushed beneath the brutality of the status quo. And every time, Christ feels our pain like a nail through flesh and bone.
Betrayal. I am the first nail, the nail of betrayal. It can happen rather quickly. In the beginning, I'm right there with you, sharing the dream, the great vision. Then one day there are 2 visions, mine and yours. My vision is wonderful, exciting, bold, and courageous. But yours is just in the way. What I don't understand is why you always seem so hurt when I choose my dreams over yours, my hopes, my needs, my survival over yours. It's not personal. Now the betrayer had given them a sign saying, "The one I will greet with a kiss is the man. Arrest him and lead him away and under guard."
I am the nail of love denied.
I stand in the shadows, watching, worrying, perhaps even aching when I see you so tormented. But I will not step out into the light. I will not stand with you. I will not speak in process, nor raise a hand to rescue or even comfort. My fear holds me silent. Brother, sister, lover, child, it matters not. My fear is stronger than my love. I do not know him.
I am the nail of injustice. I represent the corruption of those who have been given the sacred trust of leadership. They are called to protect and to uphold the values and well-being of the community, but they have become corrupted by their power. All they protect is their own self-interest. I represent the arrogance of those who feel they know best, those who are willing to twist the law to their own ends. They tell themselves and others that their motives are pure, noble, even. They know the harm they do, but are willing to accept the price so long as they are not the ones who must pay it. I represent those things best done in the shadows, backroom deals, and hidden agendas. They arrested him in the night, far from the cheering crowds, and tried him in the dark hours before dawn. Where is the justice in this? They seized Jesus and led him away, but Peter followed at a distance.
I am the nail of complicity. If the nail of injustice speaks of those who lead, I speak of those who follow. I speak of those who allow injustice to happen, those who stand by shaking their head in dismay and tut-tutting at the actions of others, but are not willing to act themselves. We turn a blind eye to the corruption around us. We turn a deaf ear, not wanting to know the many ways we benefit from the suffering of others. We want the cheapest prices without concern for the laborers, the greatest profit without concern for the methods, the very best luxuries without concern for those who live in squalor. Pilate is the one named as complicit, the one who found no harm in Jesus but ordered his death anyway. But Pilate is not the only one. We are all part of the injustice of our day. Pilate gave his verdict that the crowd's demand should be granted. He released the man they asked for and handed Jesus over to be crucified as they wished.
2 hands, 2 feet. You would think that was enough. But no, 1 more nail is needed. I am the nail of ridicule, the cruel laughter that makes sport of all you hold dear, that belittles and demeans. I am the coward, hiding behind my witty jeers and biting jests. I need to make you feel small so that I can feel important. I am the nail that holds the sign above Jesus' head, the one that reads, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. How clever. He saved others. Let him save himself if he is the Messiah of God, the chosen one. The soldiers mocked him. If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself.
We have heard the readings about the nails. Now we invite you to stand and to think upon the song that we sing, Were You There?
Crucified my Lord.
A reading from Isaiah, the 53rd chapter, the first 3 verses. Who has believed our message? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot, and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain. Like one from whom people hide their faces, he was despised, and we held him in low esteem.
Let us pray. Holy God, how have we wounded you? What is there within us that has caused you pain? With petty thoughts and selfish actions, we deny your goodness. The anxiety of our lives betrays our faith in you. Be near us, O God of mercy, as we consider the harm we have done to you. As you depart in silence after the hymn, please place your nails in the bowl.
We invite you, as you are able, to stand as we sing Jesus, Remember Me. And we ask that you sing this through twice.